For a 10-year investment of at least $10 million for a foreigner, $300,000 for a citizen, and $150,000 for a citizen operating upcountry, one is exempt from tax as long as they fall into the selected industries. However, while the law about some of the exemptions is clearly spelled out, not everything is as clear as one would want it. Over the past 5 years, Uganda has lost over 12 trillion shillings to various tax exemptions. The Finance Ministry states that one of the biggest beneficiaries is the Bujagali Hydro Power Plant, having been exempted over 300 billion shillings. Yet their exemption period was extended to 2027 from 2022. Others include roofings, but one wonders if the intended purpose has been achieved. For example, in the case of the Bujagali project, has the cost of power reduced? In terms of employment, are Ugandans getting significant work opportunities, or are they just being offered casual labor positions?
The Auditor General, in his report ending December 2023, the Auditor General said actually the purpose for which these exemptions is given has never been met, because those exemptions were over 1 trillion shilling, and yet we do not have money in the budget to finance the budget. But the purpose for Bujagali was that if we exempt the tax, then the tariff will be lower. From the technical studies done by the government itself, a unit which was supposed to have come down to about 300, 500 is still at 820. Therefore, if the only purpose is to attract investment, I can understand, but sometimes that is not stated.
However, these exemptions, except for the recently tabled law for startups that are less than 3 years old, are often selectively given, especially among the big players. How about implementing a law that guides one on how they can apply for tax exemptions?
That we needed a law on tax exemptions that spells out the criteria, such that it is not given out as a handout. I will know that if I want to be exempted from taxes, I petition and file my application to the following relevant authorities, and it is given. The way it is today, it is selectively given.
Considering that exemptions and incentives are like a bad dancing partner that you cannot avoid, what steps must be taken to ensure they benefit us?
They must be public, they must be transparent, but also empowering the community, the host communities for these particular investments to also participate in monitoring implementation of these particular incentives. There is need for qualification of industries or investors that would benefit from these kind of incentives. For instance, the sports betting. If, say, there is an investor who is going to bring into our economy so much money, is that kind of an investor who should be benefiting? Because ultimately there is moral decay, there is trauma, there is depression that comes as a result of people or young people losing their way into sports betting.
Looking back, are tax exemptions truly helping the economy, or are we simply seeing things that are not there? It is hard to say because the figures are making us question if we're interpreting them correctly. Joan Salmon, NTV Business.